I'm tired of you painting me like a loser.
I never
painting me like a nerd.
Okay,
I'm not.
I didn't mean outlandish as in like
Then what did you
odd.
mean?
You know his pants fell in public the other day. He literally got pantsed by just the air the other day.
Listen.
He had 2 coffees in his hands and his pants just fell.
Things happen.
What was your reaction when it fell?
I was like, oh no. Hello, friends and family. For this episode of Difficult Dish, we will be talking about pop culture and current events. Things that are going on in today's world. Do you want to hear us talk about Luigi Mangione? Do you want to hear us talk about Blake Lively? Do you want to hear us talk about the world of chess? So many things that y'all are interested in. That's only a couple. We got so many more in this jam-packed, very funny episode of Difficult Dish. So without further ado, let's get into it. Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of our podcast, Difficult Dish, hosted by myself, Mashu Munir, and my co-host,
Mahua Khan.
And it's a podcast about different South Asian narratives, and we're so happy that you're here.
You don't want to show us your coffee of the day?
Before we get any further, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, rate the podcast, review the podcast. You see
it's
what's
free,
going on.
Simply free.
It's free. This cold brew wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
Oh well. What's up?
You're a cold brew boy?
Yeah, nitro. There's
Why
a
do you like
difference.
that? Because
There's
it tastes
nitro.
so gross to the norm.
Oh my god.
Okay,
it's
let me
nitrogen
explain.
infused. It's nitrogen
Oh my
infused.
God, here
The
it goes.
nitrogen makes the cold brew smoother because typically cold brew is a little bit stronger, you know, heavier on the palate, but the nitrogen really cuts down
I
like
understand
the
the science behind it because you make sure everyone and their mom knows. But why do you like it? Because it doesn't taste good. I understand it's like an acquired taste that you keep saying, but like you understand that not many coffee shops hold it for a reason because no one likes drinking it.
That's
so
not true because
these
goddamn northerners just haven't caught up, you know, with the times yet. You know,
well,
like it's in. It's just like New York isn't there yet. Okay. You understand? Florida knows what's going on.
Because
you know,
Florida doesn't have anything besides coffee shops.
No, because they have taste. Okay.
Okay.
They have a nice palate.
What's going on with you?
You know, just out here, doing the podcast, going back to Florida in a couple days.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta, and then Orlando, then New York, then Orlando,
a lot of
then
traveling,
New York.
Huh? Against your will or like voluntary?
Nah, so here's the thing. I love this podcast and it's so much fun doing this podcast.
Right.
But I have such a busy month.
Yeah.
And I have so many. I still haven't DJ'd in so long. I haven't done so many things in so long.
Yeah.
But you know, like the new year is all about perseverance and trying to remain as consistent as possible. When life throws you hurdles, you know,
wow.
you jump.
You jump over the hurdles.
You jump over the hurdles. Yeah. You understand what's going on.
And you have to prioritize like the things that you want to do, even when life does throw you hurdles.
That's true.
Instead of making excuses all the time. You understand? You understand?
Was that felt like a little like subtweet?
No, there was no subtweet. Just like an underlying message was there. Direct. You know.
What's the underlying message?
So anyway, jokes aside.
No more joking.
What are we talking about in this episode?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I'll explain.
Me. Go ahead.
We are going to break down current events and pop culture references in the current society right now.
Wow.
Because the thing is, Mashun and I have completely different algorithms. Okay. Something that I think is common and everybody knows about, he has no idea about at all. Right. And it just makes me think like, oh, if he doesn't know about it, then there's probably other people that also don't know about it that need a little breakdown for a dummy and would like to be, you know, in the world of current events, pop culture. Again.
You're just so niche in like everything that you consume.
I'm not niche.
Like it really is.
Everything
it's really,
is.
I have no idea like what.
So
any
Mashun
of
has only watched 2 shows in his life, right? Prison Break and SpongeBob.
And
the thing is, not only has he watched only those 2 shows in his life, he constantly brings up only those 2 references in his life, right?
That's not true.
And the thing is, you know, life keeps on moving beyond 2005, right? You yell at me for only listening to Jonas Brothers and One Direction when you're literally... He was watching SpongeBob the other day for New Year's Eve. Okay, but what I'm saying is that he's stuck, right? He's stuck and he's under a rock. So he doesn't understand that there are other shows and other things on top of that. And now in his adult years, he still watches SpongeBob and things like that. But now he's in the niche of chess and battle rap. right?
I do more than that. Okay, I do.
Okay, understandable. But the thing is, Mashun and I, we have, we go back and forth sometimes with like our own pop culture and references and things like that, just to like talk out loud and like hear each other's thoughts.
Yeah.
In the respective fields.
Yeah.
So he'll tell me something outlandish in whatever field that I have no idea on, and then I'll tell him something.
I'm tired of you painting me like a loser.
I never
painting me like a nerd.
Okay,
I'm not.
I didn't mean outlandish as in like then
what did you
odd.
mean?
I meant outlandish as in out of my fields. Come on.
Understood.
All right. So do you have some like things you want to talk about or not?
I got a couple, yeah.
Okay.
I got a couple that are like true to me, real to me. That I'm excited to share. But I don't want to give too much because like y'all gonna get bored.
No, but this is our podcast, so we can talk.
This is our podcast. This is our podcast. Yeah. We should also try to talk about something brown too. I don't know if you thought of anything brown. I'll try to think some brown.
I didn't.
All right. You wanna start?
You want to go first?
You can go first.
So
make it a good one, like the juiciest one you have though.
Okay.
Like the group that you have.
Okay, so again, like I have to break it down for him because he has literally no idea of any of these people or things. So hopefully, if you have some sort of idea, you don't get too bored because again, I'm trying to like break it down for a dummy, right?
Yeah.
Break it down for like a pop culture.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not a nerd.
So the first one is the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama.
I know Blake Lively.
Who's Blake Lively?
She's the white blonde.
Okay, that doesn't narrow down anyone in Hollywood.
Nah, I know the name.
Okay, she's from Gossip Girl, right? She's the blonde from Gossip Girl. She was married to Ryan Reynolds.
I know Ryan Reynolds.
Who was recently in which movie?
What's it called? Not Spider-Man. Deadpool.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I know that boy. Mint Mobile. I get that.
Exactly, Mint Mobile, the ad that we see everywhere.
My boy.
Okay, so anyway, she recently starred in a movie with Justin Baldoni. You know who this is?
I don't know.
Okay, why would you? So Justin Baldoni is from the show Jane the Virgin. Okay, he also has like a male podcast where he actually had a female co-host.
Same. This is a male podcast with a female co-host.
But on this podcast, he kind of talked about his struggles of being a man, abuse he's faced in the past. He's seen as this very vulnerable, emotionful person in Hollywood who's able to like show his feelings, and that's why people characterize him as like someone who feels safe, right? Because he's able to talk about these hard topics that men usually don't talk about, right?
Yeah.
So that's how he kind of gets like his notoriety. So anyway, he stars in this movie with Blake Lively. He's also the director of this movie for that just came out. It's called It Ends With Us.
Yeah, I heard
a book adapted into a movie by
Colleen Hoover.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that
exactly.
one.
You know that
only because of you.
So Hassan Minaj was also in it. Yeah. So this movie came out in the past few months. So anyway, for the press of this movie, Blake Lively, the blonde white
Gossip Girl.
Yeah, Gossip Girl. She was seen interviewing for this, and people were kind of hating on her. Put the glass down. People were hating on her because the premise of this movie is like domestic abuse and violence and like being in a toxic relationship and how to get out of that, or if you can. And it's like a hard conversation to have, but also
tough.
Blake Lively in the movie, her name is Lily. She owns a flower shop. So when she was interviewing for this movie and in the press release, she was kind of making it very like girly, flowery, like, oh my God, get your girls and come see this movie. Kind of brushing over the main part of the movie, right? Which is the domestic violence. Yeah. And so people were kind of hating on her, like, oh my God, why is she starring in this? Why is she talking about this movie? Like, it's like a cutesy movie, right?
Right.
It's not.
But
then people were loving Justin Baldoni because he was bringing up the actual theme of the movie, the important part, which is like the domestic abuse and like putting it in a point of view of like a woman going through it, right? So people are like, oh my God, yes, Justin, yes, right? And even I during this, I was like, oh, why is he like so good at this interview and like talking about the main points, and she was not, right? So come to find out, in the last week and a half,
like from today,
okay, Blake Lively sues Justin Baldoni.
Sue?
For what, you might ask?
Legal action. I don't know.
Are you asking?
I'll ask.
Okay.
Why?
She is saying that he allegedly was insulting her and harassing her at work, making her feel ugly and fat and not attractive
That's not
attractive enough for this
I would
role,
never.
and not giving her enough time for like to spend time with her child, her infant, not following COVID precautions and things like that. So there's like this multiple, like dozens of page documents of evidence, text messages, like all of the things that he's done. And then on top of that, it was revealed that he hired a team and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to defame her image. So while all these interviews to make her look bad, and also previous interviews that made her look bad started resurfacing during the promo of this movie, it turned out that he hired people, the same people that Johnny Depp hired against Amber Heard, to make her look bad and boost these videos that harmed her like idea.
There's something going on there.
Yeah.
There's something fishy going on.
So now
we have to get to the bottom of it.
People are like, oh my God, he's like America's sweetheart. We can't believe her, even though there's dozens of pages of arguments and proof. But people have this image of Justin Baldoni because he has like this podcast and he's very vulnerable, and he's like, he would never do that.
I'm there. I get it.
So, but there's also this other group of people who were hating on Blake Lively during this time because there were some problematic interviews and things that she's done, but they're using that as like a way to
like,
justify
to
justify that she like deserved this harassment.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
So what are your thoughts?
Has he responded to anything that she said?
So he came back with his own set of like proof and evidence and text messages and things like that. Saying
what? That like she was calling him a fatty too?
No. But like, you know, to show his side of things.
I don't understand.
It can be kind of like misconstrued. Like obviously you can take out some evidence to make yourself look good, and then
got it.
So he has some of his own like proof and messages and things like that
to
show his side of things. But also, mind you, the whole cast of It Ends With Us unfollowed Justin Baldoni during the press release.
That's the red flag. That's what you call a red flag.
Yeah.
Because think about it, they wouldn't unfollow him if he didn't do nothing fishy. So there's something fishy going on.
So there has to be something going on.
You know,
but also some people are saying that Blake Lively is a lot more like famous and wealthier than Justin Baldoni. So she's using that to her advantage and using that to like bury him.
But she wouldn't be doing that if he didn't do no funny business.
Yeah.
You know?
Her reasoning to this is that like, oh, I'm trying to speak up for other women who couldn't do it, and like, you know, putting my foot down to just like harassment at work.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And a lot of people, even though there's so much proof and evidence to this happening, obviously it still has to be taken to court and get proven. But even though there's so much evidence, firsthand evidence, right? People are still refusing to believe Blake because, you know, women are always going to be villainized. But also they're refusing to believe her because this man is seen as like a god, you know? In Hollywood, he's seen as like the good ones, right?
Okay.
And it's just crazy because like it's a red flag to me. Okay, the guys that overly emphasize that they're a nice guy.
My fault.
No, you don't do that. The guys that overly share that they're a nice guy and that's like their biggest personality trait,
allies.
they're usually not.
Yeah,
they're usually the opposite.
White saviors. Yeah.
So I saw this take on TikTok where people were like, "Oh, you know, he has this whole podcast." By the way, his co-host, the female, she left. She's not a part of the podcast anymore. So Justin
not a good sound, my boy. Not a good sound, my boy.
But you know, people were saying that he, you know, makes it his brand to like speak up for feminist issues and be vulnerable and be the opposite of what like an alpha male is like. Obviously there are people that like genuinely adopt that and they believe it and they are like women's allies, but
he out here doing this funny business.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn, Justin, don't you dare hit us up. Justin, don't hit us up. we don't do any of that funny business here. Blake, we're on your side. We're on your side, Blicky.
Blicky.
Yeah, we love women on this podcast.
I love how you only know Blake Lively because of Ryan Reynolds' Mint Mobile.
Yeah, how else would people know her?
Like, why do you live under a rock? Like,
and Deadpool. I knew Deadpool. Deadpool's a great movie. Shout out Ryan.
Watched it?
Of course I've watched it.
I've never watched it.
Shout out Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's my boy.
So,
yeah, good story.
Yeah,
good story.
It wasn't really a story. It was more like.
What side are you on?
I'm for woman.
Yeah, Blicky. Shout out to her. We're
All
on her
right.
side. Yeah, hope she comes to. We have to help her get to the bottom. of
How are
this.
we gonna?
That's insane.
How are we gonna?
I'll send my people.
Okay,
I have a story.
you have a story.
I have one.
Is it like ultra niche or?
No,
Okay.
it's pretty popular.
Okay.
So in the chess world, listen, chess is niche, but it's like it's grown very, 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 very big now.
Right.
So right now there's the world championship going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I just finished.
Okay.
So there's actually two controversies. There's another one that I'll
Where'd it
get
happen?
into. Huh?
Where
New York City, Fada, and down the street from me.
You weren't there?
My old office.
I
Nah, they asked me to come through. I was like, "Hey man, sorry, yo, I got record the podcast." They asked me to come through. I said I record difficulties. So the best chess player in the world is named Magnus Carlsen. I think he's like Norwegian or something. Cool guy. He's been like the best for like a long time, and he's like the face of chess. Like he has like ownership in chess.com. He's like the Michael Jordan of chess. Like he pushes the game of chess forward. Like how like all like Tiger Woods for golf. Like when you think golf, you think Tiger Woods. Like there are these people that just like push the game forward. Like they become bigger than the game, right? So he's like that, Magnus. Yeah. He is in the chess tournament. This chess tournament is run by the organization called FIDE, and FIDE has very strict dress code. Very strict dress code. You gotta look prim and proper, suit, not a tie, but suit.
Why?
Nice shoes. Cause, we talked about this.
Break it down.
When you think of a gamer, the way that they look, what do you think of? Say it.
Sweatsuit.
Big
glasses.
T-shirt, basketball shorts, sandals, no haircut.
Why can't they have a
Probably no watch.
Okay.
Nothing. No belt. Just thugging it. Just thugging it. That's what you think about a gamer. Chess doesn't want that because chess is a very refined, classy game. You gotta have class to play chess, like me. You understand?
Don't your pants go below your knees?
So they.
His pants fell in public the other day. He literally got pantsed by just the air the other day.
Listen.
He had two I wasn't there, by the way. I heard about this from a bystander. But, like, he had two coffees in his hands and his pants just fell in public.
I've been in the gym, okay? My shit getting, invisible, okay? So, things happen.
What was your reaction when it fell?
Huh? I was like, oh, no. I don't...
you didn't feel it
I just called... My sister was in front of me. I just called for her help.
You didn't feel it? Like,
I felt it falling. But I sagged my pants regardless. So I was just like, oh, a little sag. I'll live. But God, I gotta get.
Guys, I wish a member of a supporter of Difficult just saw that one and snapped a little picture.
They would have helped me.
Yeah.
In my time of need.
All right. Anyway, continue.
Where was I?
You're talking about how chess is more polished than clothing.
Yeah, like me. So, Magnus Carlsen comes to the tournament wearing jeans. That's a big no-no. He said that he just came from somewhere he didn't have time to change. He didn't even think. It didn't even come to his mind that he had to change. He just put on his blazer.
Understand.
Bullshit. If you know that there's a dress code, if you don't change, no way in your head did you not think about it.
Was he trying to make a statement?
Hold on, let me walk you into it.
Okay.
So there are a lot of theories that were coming out. They're like, Magnus thinks he's bigger than the game now. Magnus thinks he could do whatever he wants. When he got there, they gave him a warning. They gave him a fine. He's like, all right. But they're like, you have to go change now. And he's like, I don't think so. I'll change tomorrow. He gets kicked out the tournament. He gets kicked out the tournament. And that became a big controversy. And a lot of people were on Magnus' side because they were like, yo, this is a stupid rule. You want to... People don't care about what you're wearing to a chess game as long as you don't look like a bum loser. You could wear pretty much whatever you want. People just want to watch chess. So that's my first question. What do you think about really dumb rules and regulations that just happen? When you're walking in New York City and you see the sign that says no running, why can you not? It's the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You don't own New York. Why can I not just run here?
Yeah.
So what do you think about just stupid signs? Do you think they have to be followed?
Yeah, obviously stupid signs are stupid, right? There's no need for them. But I feel like the dress code is not a stupid sign. I don't feel like that's a rule that shouldn't be followed. Because I think that the dress code plays a huge perception in the game, right? Like what you said, when we think of gamers, we think of like very casual sweatsuit, kind of untamed type of look, right? Which is fine. It's more comfy casual. But if chess, and even like if you go to private school, there's usually a uniform, right? I know you would be the person to be like, I don't want to wear a uniform like you did.
Yeah, I was.
I know you were that type of person.
Gotta have stories.
But the thing is, that private school is on the top for a reason. Like, you have to get in, you have to pay a crazy amount of money, whatever, you know, the classist high thing of that school is, right? Same thing with chess. If you don't maintain the dress code, like, fashion plays a huge part with like how you perceive something.
What do you think about the consequence though? About like the enforcement? Because you know when police take things too far,
yeah,
that's like what people are getting upset about. The fine is fine.
They probably felt like if he did continue to play, he would continuously break the rules and people would follow him and make it like a revolution.
All right, then they just stack it up because they're fining everybody.
Yeah, they're fining everyone, but what if people are willing to accept the fines and still continue?
Nah, but only the number one player who's the millionaire out of all chess players. Chess players are not millionaires. They're not going to be paying fines for no reason. Basketball players can pay fines for no reason. Chess players are not going to be paying fines. Anyways, so
what are your thoughts?
Apart from, I think it's stupid. I think the enforcement was dumb. I think fine him, give him a warning, whatever.
Okay.
But moving forward, they actually let him re-enter the tournament the next day. So he was just he forfeited all the first round games. He goes through the tournament. The next controversy, he gets to the finals, right? Gets to the finals against this other guy, and how the finals go is like you basically keep playing like until someone wins, right? So like that. So when a game draws, that doesn't count as a win for either one. So essentially, they can go on forever if they keep drawing. If they keep draw until someone wins. No one wins. So they drawed like 9 games in a row. And then eventually Magnus looked at the other guy. He was like, yo, would you be down to just like split the first place? And the guy was like, yeah, sure. And then they asked like the organizers, they're like, yo, can we just split first place? And they're like, all right. And so they split first place.
How do you split first place?
Exactly. And that like set the chess world on fire. Because it was like, Imagine splitting first place, the NBA championship.
Yeah.
We both win.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. What are your thoughts on that? Talk to me.
I don't know if that should be allowed. Because the point of first place is that you compete against each other to get, one winner. So if both of you guys compete, you get everyone's hopes up high. At the end, you're just like, you know what? We both deserve it.
But like, if they both agree to it, like.
No, I get that they both agreed to it, but also like, maybe they felt under pressure that the other person had to agree. But also like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a letdown. Exactly. It just feels like you're getting like a participation award.
I agree.
So
the main conversation for like the chess championship has been Magnus Carlsen thinks he's bigger than the game of chess and thinks that he can run things.
He's like rewriting the rules.
So like, what are your thoughts on, like when you do something for such a long time and you become so famous for it, you feel like you're bigger than it. You feel like you have more control over something than like you actually do. Because from his end, he's like, hey, I am the reason this game is popular. But at the same time, he didn't create the game. He's not the organizers. This game has been around for so long, and there are people that play chess that don't know who Magnus Carlsen is.
He's getting too cocky.
Right.
What, you still a fan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. That's our boy, Maggie,
Maggie!
But I don't like that. I like people that remain humble.
Yeah.
I think humility is very, very important.
Yeah.
This chess has done wondrous things for you. I think this conversation can be translated to anything. It's like no matter, like, you think about like the world's richest people, I'm not gonna say all of them, but like some of the world's richest people still remain very like charitable and still remain very like down to earth. And I'm not even gonna say richest billionaires, just like wealthy people in general, I guess. Like, I love people that just like, remain humble and like.
Yeah, we were just talking about that about Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Shout out Bad Bunny. I'm really excited for Bad Bunny's new album. It's very, very authentically Puerto Rican, and it's like the bigger he gets, the more he remembers where he's from.
Yeah.
The closer he holds where he's from.
I like that.
So that's essentially my story.
Yeah.
That wasn't too niche, was it?
Keeping you up at night?
It really was. That dress code really brought back a lot of memories for me, because I used to, vandalize my dress code all the time. I got stories. Good guy. I think I've told dress code stories. I remember my first dress down day in 7th grade. Dress down day is once a month where you could wear whatever you want. And you were only granted that allowance if you had good grades. So I didn't get too many dress down days at all. And how they would know is the weekend before, or a couple days before, they would have a piece of paper outside, and it would have all the names of students that were allowed to dress down. I never saw my name. I saw my name the very first time.
This is middle school?
7th grade. I'll never forget the very first dress down day. My name was on the board. I remember I wore my sister's t-shirt, my sister's jeans, and my sister's black and white Converse.
You never thought you would get it, so that's why you just had no clothes for yourself.
No, you don't understand. I had no clothing at all, but I was so excited for dress down day. Everyone called me a girl the entire day, but
at least was it worth it?
At least I look fly.
Was it worth it?
Of course it was. At least I look different. Being unique and being being yourself.
Maybe you set a trend in that school.
I really did. I sent a lot of trends to that school. Shout out Orlando Science School. Don't forget where you came from. I would never.
Okay.
You want to go ahead?
I don't know if I can beat that.
I know you can't.
I don't know if I can beat that.
It's all about trial and error.
You want to talk about the Luigi Mangione case?
Yeah, go ahead. What's there to say?
So, if you guys haven't heard, has it been 2 months already?
No way.
Since it happened?
No way.
It happened in November or October. No, it happened.
No, it didn't. It happened in December. Are you bugging?
No, it did not.
He died in December. 100%.
No.
All right. Just start.
Anyway, so Luigi Mangione, he was actually born in 98 like us. He's our age.
The boy.
And guess what? He actually also had mutuals with people that I was following because he went to the same college as some of the people I know.
Nice.
But anyway, Luigi Mangione, 26-year-old regular person who allegedly...
It's not alleged.
No, it's still alleged because they haven't got to court. Okay, but allegedly, the CEO of the insurance company.
You know, so crazy. What? It happened 10 blocks away from my office.
Yeah.
I remember I was with my coworker and he was like, "Yo, this guy just died." I was like, "Damn." And he was like, "Yeah, our company uses insurance from them." I was like, "Oh shit." He was like, "Yeah, it's probably gonna make the insurance policy go crazy."
That's why you've been getting so many insurance.
No, literally.
But anyway, he killed the CEO of United Healthcare, right? And he was basically on the run, and police finally found him in a McDonald's in Pennsylvania, right? And he had a manifesto. People tracked him down because of one surveillance photo of him smiling underneath his hood, right? And since then, he has been seen as America's hero, okay? And it's just so crazy. I don't know if you've seen this on TikTok and Instagram, but people have made so many AI edits of him and
right
videos of him on a face, just a random body dancing.
Yeah. And
then random videos are resurfacing of him just helping out humanity. He was a rock climbing instructor. He was a skateboarder. He read a lot of books. People found his Goodreads account, and he was just a normal person that went to an Ivy League school, went to private school. He was valedictorian. He's from a very wealthy family as well, right? Italian boy, right? And so people are loving him. People are thinking that he's the Robin Hood of today's day and age. And there's this question that people are asking, oh, is it ever okay to someone, right? Is it okay that he did this? Do you salute him? And people's response have kind of been the same, but obviously there's a yes or no for every single thing. And people have been saying obviously no, we don't ever support the murder of someone, but it's for a bigger cause, right? It's to make a statement. People are basically saying yeah, we would never do that. We would never support that. But understandably, we understand what this is for, right? So now that Mr. Luigi, our comrade in the same 1998 year, is in court and in jail, waiting trial, people are trying to like predict what's gonna happen, right? Again, he's from a very rich family, a very supportive background, very like educational background, right? People are thinking that he's gonna get off the hook, and also people on social media are like, oh my god, he's so attractive, he's done so much good for the society, like he's just gonna get a few pats on the back and then get let loose, right? And then I saw this theory on TikTok that he was like handpicked by like a bigger organization that is like trying to send a message to society. Like he was handpicked from that because he has no like underlying problem with like mental health. He is not brown or black, because that's usually like another way to get someone down in court, right? Or by society. He doesn't have like any criminal record from the past. Like, you know, he has great education. It's not like he's from a poor or bad neighborhood. And those are usually the things that people go for in court, in front of the law, in society. Like, oh, because he was black, this is why he's doing this, and that's why he's going to go to jail, right? Because he has a mental illness, he did this, it's justified, and that's why he's going to go to jail, right? Because he has none of those like underlying things that usually make a criminal bad, you know, in society's eyes. People are saying that he was like the perfect person to handpick for this bigger purpose.
Okay.
And the court of law isn't going to find anything like sustainable to actually like hold him in court long.
Okay.
Like hold him in jail long.
Yes. Because
he doesn't have like something like notably bad that's like will stop him. You understand?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, thoughts on that? Like, but this case is getting so much more exposure because it's the CEO of, you know, a big company like this.
I think the only thing that just like upsets me is like the fact that people only care about this because he looks good.
Yeah.
Nobody would give a fuck about this would not be on any sort of news if he didn't look good.
Yeah.
He could have the same type of background, exact same type of person, but if he looked like a dork nerd, people would not care.
Yeah.
And I think that just annoys me with just like media in general, because it's like I hear all of these like all of these theories and all of these like, you know, new profound ideas that are coming from this, like, oh, like, is this okay? None of this would be happening if he just like didn't look good. You know, and I think that is just annoying, because like I think there are valuable like conversations to have from this type of stuff, but nobody would deem any of it valuable.
But it's similar to like the same like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case. Like, he is seen as conventionally attractive and successful in Hollywood, so people don't want to attach him to this crime. And same thing with Luigi, and the same thing with previous cases like Ted Bundy or like the Menendez brothers. They were seen as attractive by media and in society, so they were not seen as like killers or, you know, like actual villains, even though they were.
You see, he got like charged for like terrorism too.
Who?
Luigi.
Did he?
Yeah, like he got like active terror, murder for terror, or something like that. Like, that's terrorism. School shooters are just mentally ill.
That's what I'm saying. Like, terrorists. My next thing that I wanted to bring up real quickly before you say your thing, because it's related to this Luigi case, is that, and I think it's very prevalent since we live in New York City, right? There have been so many surges. I feel like there are random surges every couple of months. It's just crazy. Of random attacks and murders in the subways and just, you know, running over people and this and that happening in specifically New York City, but like a lot of major cities. And, you know, like the person that set a woman on fire on the subway and things like that. Obviously, we saw it in media for the most part, but it definitely doesn't have the same exposure as like this Luigi Mangione case. And I feel like these these murders that are happening to these everyday people, they don't get exposure because they're just everyday people. They don't matter as much to people in society. Like, people don't care. But since this murder happened to the CEO, he's getting all this exposure.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just not fair because, like, you know, for the everyday people of New York City, like, we don't feel safe going into the subway, just going to work, going to class, whatever, because these things keep on happening without really any sort of solution. So, like, do you, like, see yourself living in New York City for the near future?
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are bad things that happen in New York City. Like, I never thought of it as the safest place in the world.
Yeah.
So even if there is, like, an uptick in, like, unfortunately crimes that are going on, like, that isn't gonna sway my opinion on New York. So I don't think that's gonna change anything. But yeah, it's I think what's it called, like the founder or like some C-suite level of like Cash App also got murdered in San Francisco, and like,
really,
yeah, no one's like talking about that.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, like there's so much shit that's going on, and I also don't like that like people are like oh, like this murder was like done in good vein because like it's gonna spark up conversation. It's not gonna spark up nothing. Like there's
it's not.
There's no change. Like, yeah, people are gonna talk about, oh, like these healthcare CEOs have too much power and they are guilty of, you know, doing like so many like treatment denials that people end up dying for. All true, but like nothing is gonna change. Nothing is gonna change. I think that has been like what pisses me off personally about like political movements or like societal movements like this, that just like most 99% of the time they literally end up doing nothing. And like we live in such like a come and go time where like, you know, ideas or like new trending topics will come and like people will completely forget about it in 2 or 3 days when like the next thing is hot. So yeah, I mean, like, people have their opinions on it. I could really care less. I'm not going to say that, like, him dying was good or bad. I like that there are just more eyes on the fact that, like, healthcare is fucked up in our country. I think that is good. And
I think that's the point of it, though.
I hope there is some change that comes out. I don't think there's going to be change that comes out of this, but I think, like, this just sparks more conversation on, like, something's got to happen.
Yeah.
Because healthcare is a lot.
Yeah.
Healthcare's expensive.
I had to deal with a lot of healthcare problems the past year, and it was so stressful, and I didn't even have any like crazy health affecting issues like that, but even then it was such a problem to get the help that I wanted and to pay for it and this and that. So I can't even imagine people that are having like, you know, end of life type of issues.
Yeah.
You know, near death experiences.
Shit crazy.
Anyway, crazy. You have your last
I got one.
Last one you want to talk about?
I got one.
Damn, we've been yapping for a while.
I got one.
Time flies when you're just yapping about
bullshit. We just watched Squid Game.
Oh yeah, we did.
We just watched.
Wait,
Squid
is
Game.
this gonna have spoilers?
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get into like just like some that came out of it.
If you're not gonna give spoilers, then I will.
All right. So sorry. Time to click off. No spoilers.
No, I won't.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I don't even know what that was.
I was gonna say someone died, but
okay.
So we watched the game, season 2, 7 episodes, kind of short. But the first episode, I've been thinking about the first episode a lot.
Why?
The first episode was titled Bread or Lottery. You remember the scene, right?
I do.
It was a scene where...
This isn't spoiling anything, by the way.
It's not spoiling. It's the first episode. Where the first... where like I guess the bad guy... He goes around a park that has a lot of homeless people, and he goes up to each person and he offers them bread or a lottery ticket. And all of the homeless people pick the lottery ticket. All of them end up losing. He ends up destroying all the bread in front of the homeless people, and he's like, "Oh, you guys made this choice. You guys made this choice. You could have picked bread, but now there is no bread, and it is your fault."
Mm-hmm.
Even though he is the one that destroyed all the bread, he's like, "This is your fault."
Mm-hmm.
That you don't have the bread. And I just thought it was very interesting, and it got me thinking a lot about you know, growing up in poverty, and a lot about lottery tickets, because as y'all know, I used to be, you know, captain of the gas station when I was 11, 12 years old, and I had my fair share of selling lotto tickets. And we haven't talked about this a lot on the podcast. I don't think it's worth a whole episode, but brown people love their lottery tickets. Brown people love their lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Especially the poor brown people, that they love their lottery tickets. A lot of come through the gas station. I saw it happen. I sold these lotto tickets. I've seen people buy these lotto tickets, scratch right in front of me, win nothing, and then like cry out the door because that was the last dollar. And I just thought it was really interesting. Like how like in the episode, his take was like, oh, like this is your fault. And it just got me thinking about how, like, someone who's growing up impoverished, when it's very interesting how they will look at like a piece of bread and they'll look at a lottery ticket and they will see more value in the lotto ticket purely because of the chance of a large return, to where they look at something that would give them a small instant amount of return, being the bread, and they look at something that is an astronomical shot at a large return. They look at that as more valuable,
right?
And I just thought it was very interesting because I grew up pretty low income, and there were a lot of situations where I would have more hope in like the possibility of something happening than like actually working for something or actually taking like the small steps, and like rich people look down on poor people a lot of the time. We think about America, we think about capitalism, we think about capitalists are always like, oh, like in America you always have the opportunity to, everyone has the opportunity to do ABC, which is true. But I think rich people have the problem of looking at poor people and thinking that they have the same mindset as the rich person, when a poor person finds value in just the intangible, like astronomical chance and things, because they are so deep down in like whatever they're going through. You can hand them bread, you can hand them this or that, but it's not valuable for them because they're just so like far away from any sort of chance or opportunity. So it just had me thinking a lot. And I just want like your thoughts on like lotto tickets, or just like the show in general. The show in general is about all these poor people are given this shot to make millions of dollars with the chance of dying, with the very probable chance of dying.
Yeah.
So like, thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this entire show, I mean, again, we're not spoiling anything, especially if you watch season 1, that this is like an entire game where all these people are competing to win billions of dollars won, and only one person can win, but that means everyone else has to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just shows that like we're very judgmental from the outside because we're like, oh my god, why are people risking their lives to win this much money? When if you are down that deep in a hole where you feel like you have no will to live and you are owing this much money to whoever person, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some people can't put their morals and ethics in with their who they are if they are going through something like that. Like we can try our best to like understand what they're going through, but you can't, right? So it's just very interesting because like you feel like as you move towards this game, and if you survive each round more and more, and there's less people around you because more people have died playing this game, you feel like there's more of a chance for you to win because you already got this far. So I really like how this show has like this probability type of aspect where it's like, oh, you have 1 in a 6 chance type of chance to win. But then if you make that bigger, if you multiply that, it's really not that high of a chance, right? And so it boggles my mind that, like what you said, a lot of immigrant parents buy these lotto tickets and they have like 1 in a million, 1 in a billion chance of winning. But they still have like this need to do it because they're like, oh, it could actually be me, you know?
It's not even like the lower chance. It's like, it's the fascination with the illusion of chance.
Yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, like if you're buying a lotto ticket, realistically you have no chance that you're gonna win this, but it's the illusion of chance that just fascinates so many people, and that is what takes over their mind. That's what happens in Squid Game, is like you become fantasized with like this obscene possibility that is not gonna come true. And it's like, it just had me thinking about like in the case of the show, like the bad guy, or in real life, just like rich people who just look down upon poor people because they're like, oh, it's your choice to be poor. But a lot of the time, like, these poor people don't have a choice because they are just caught in like this cycle of like illusion of like something can happen, and they're just like stuck in a cycle. So like, and that feeds into like so many other like possibilities with or conversations with, you know, why certain communities have been withheld for like decades and decades. And yeah, there will be like the standalones that are able to like climb their way out of like their community, but for the most part, like it's bigger than like the choices of the person. It's like, what is wrong with the community? What is wrong with like the mindset that's being fed to them, and just like so many things. So I just thought that was like kind of interesting, you know. But good show, good season. Check it out. We're not spoiling nothing, but you know, check it out. And you know, let's see.
There's apparently a season 3 coming out.
There definitely is. They gotta be. They gotta be.
There has to be.
I gotta know what happened next
after that ending.
Yeah.
That was good. We yapped a lot.
Yeah, good. What you want?
What was your favorite one?
I like the chess. You got another one? You want?
No, I don't got another one. I think that's.
I thought you'd.
I had 3. You
had
had
2.
I said 3.
You most definitely said 2.
I said the Justin Baldoni, the New York City thing, and the Luigi Mangione.
Oh, I thought the Luigi Mangione in New York was. No, you did a little combination.
Yeah, I told you. I was like, oh, while we're on the note of that, might as well add this in.
Oh, then I would have talked about that more. I thought it was more on the Luigi thing.
Oh, I'm not important.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, good episode. We got no responses because we didn't really, you know, this was just
this one was just us. Like,
but follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
At difficult to we always ask you guys to, you know,
send in your responses so you can be featured.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you like this one. I think we enjoy talking about, you know, God knows what. I have a lot more I could talk about, but you know, I don't want to bore y'all too much. Battle rap.
Yeah, there's so much that he talks about.
A lot. No,
and I love it, truly.
Okay.
No, actually, I love it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Tell us in advice.
A few episodes ago, I made a statement. I would like to retract it. I said that getting your hair cut every 3 months is a scam. And they said that just to, like, get money out of you. But I truly believe that some people don't have, you know, the healthiest hair. Sometimes they get more split ends than others. Sometimes their hair is more bleached or dyed. And they need to get that haircut to maintain the lusciousness, health of it, right? So I support getting haircuts maybe not every 3 months if you don't actually need it. Maybe, like, at least every 4 to 6 months. You know?
4 to 6.
Try to put it, like, into your routine. Because I'm finally getting my first haircut after over a year. So just know that
that's a long time.
I'm gonna come back transformed after this.
Long time, not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. How about yours?
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
How often do you get haircuts?
Like once every 2 months, 3 months, 4. No?
You got a haircut last time after 8 months.
That's because I was growing it out.
No, you weren't. I was because
my haircut before that, I got like a little taper. Okay. And then I grew out to, you know, like the luscious flow.
Okay.
Now I got the flow going on, so I don't got to cut too often because the flow maintains. But when I do the little taper fade action.
Do you have a 10-second edit? No.
Some that, like, my sister told me, it's very silly, but it's very practical. I've been doing it a lot. If you have a problem adding vegetables to your dishes, just buy frozen vegetables. You don't got to worry about chopping nothing. You don't got to worry about cooking nothing. If you're making like a stir fry, noodles, pot, whatever it is, buy some frozen vegetables, put them on the oven. And they last longer. They cook like 2-3 minutes. You're good. Now you got your veggies in.
Yeah.
You understand?
You've been using it a lot more too.
Yeah, practical tip.
Good one.
You understand?
You got a Bangla word of the day?
My Bangla word for today is shobji.
Shobji.
Vegetables.
That's
Get that in. Get that in. You understand? Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Difficult Dish this week. Please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, do everything. And
it's free.
Most importantly,
and it doesn't take long.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
We
love you guys so much. Allah Hafiz.